I just ran into the second highest player on the entire ladder. I am hanging out at 1620. They are in the nosebleeds, 1857. At this time, I think they were like a point away from number one on the ladder, and we had a pretty epic battle, so I want to show you guys what went down. It's lead T-Tar and lead T-Tar. I'm running El Classico. Team pace is going to be in the description. Turn one, El Classico, basically always just go Scar. You simply go Scar, and we're going to go there. Now, they Earthquake, that's amazing. That's what you love to see. You want to get the Scarm in healthily, and I know that this is physical T-Tar. It's probably not going to have Fire Blast or anything like that. It could have Focus Punch or Rock Slide. Either way, we are likely to get a Spike, which is what we're going to click. But actually, it's lead Taunt Tyranitar to deny Spikes specifically. So this is technology against teams like El Clasico that want to get Scarm in and want to aggressively get a Spike early and push the issue. And so now I've got a choice to make. What the heck do I do? The rest of my Scarm reset is like Drill Peck, Protect, Roar, so I can't really do much to the T-Tar. We're going to go, of course, to our primary Rock Resist in Swampert. Heads up play by the opponent. They Earthquake, expecting I'm going somewhere like Swampert, right? So they're going to get a nice chunk of damage on the Swampert. And we're going to Leftovers Chip Heal back up. And in this spot, I'm thinking, well, you're probably going to switch out. You don't want to sit here and, get another like 25, 23%, but take an entire Surf and lose half of your entire Tyranitar. So to me, that is my opportunity to get my own Scarm in. And they're actually going to switch to their Scarm. This is their opportunity to get Spikes. And so we found an avenue to get away from the Taunt T-Tar. We're going to start trading Spikes. And this is a curious decision by my opponent here. Keep in mind, we have a Gengar in the back. We have a Spin Blocker. So I'm thrilled to just trade 3 Spikes, aggressively spin block if he does happen to have a Rapid Spinner. That's no problem. Here, I'm going to get my 3rd Spike, and he's actually going to Roar. So I don't think I've seen this line. Very interesting. I think most often what I see is that the Scarms will both get 3 layers. Sometimes there's Thief Scarm shenanigans, but in this case, he wants to Roar and then get his 3rd Spike up in front of something else. And I think he decided to do that because he noticed that my Scarm was faster than his, so in the event that we just trade 3 layers for 3 layers, he knows I'm going to be the one to get the Roar off. So he decides to take his chances. He roars my T-Tar in. He still hasn't seen it click anything. But that's what he decides to do. Interesting line. We'll see how it pays off for him. He does elect to get his 3rd Spike. I Focus Punch. And I make a mistake here. This upcoming turn, notice that Scarm gets lefties before my T-Tar. So now I'm thinking, in my head, I didn't notice that. And I'm like, I could Focus Punch again. It's a 2-hit KO either way. So I decide to Rock Slide for flinch outs, because if I slide him, I can deny his Roar or like a Toxic or something. But he's actually just faster than me. So knowing that, I should probably just be Focus Punching, because I, of course, cannot flinch a Pokemon that is faster than me. Either way, we land the Rock Slide, and it's still in 3-hit KO range. But of course, since it's Toxic, it's almost certainly Protect last, and I don't exactly want to get Protect stalled. Let's see what he does. He goes to Swamperts, and I actually pivot to Gengar. So I try to get Gengar in on his Skarmory Protect. One of the highest value things that El Clasico can do is get 3 Spikes up early and click Will-O-Wisp. Force the opponent to show you something that can deal with Will-O-Wisp. A lot of Blissies like to come in on 3 Spikes. They take a Wisp, and then I also have Taunt, so I can deny Soft Boiled from Blissey, and like a lot of really, really good things can happen. Pursuit Tyranitar comes in on 3 Spikes, gets Wisped, and then some of the time we actually can 1v1 it with Giga Drain. So this is a great spot. Most of the time, Swampert comes in on these Spikes. They're going to Protect to Scout and Chip Heal a little bit. So I am going to Wisp. I'm showing them that Wisp is happening. I'm representing Wisp. And who knows what kind of Swampert this is. It's Protect, so it could be Mono Pert, Mono being Surf, Protect, Toxic, Refresh. And if that's the case, he could be thinking, okay, he Wisps me, no problem. I'm just going to Surf. I'm going to get some Chip on the Gengar. Maybe there's a world where he stays in. Then again, this is a great player who probably recognizes the team at this point, because the team El Clasico that I'm playing is incredibly popular. It's a very well-known team, folks. Either way, because I'm representing Wisp, and to me there's a world where he stays in, I could Wisp again. I decide to go for something else. I decide to send Giga Drain to try to really get through the Swampert, and he brings in Moltres. One last note on the Swampert. Getting through this Swampert is of the utmost importance because the whole point of El Clasico is we're aggressively getting spikes up early and we are rock spam. So we have T-Tar and an arrow in the back. We need to overload their rock resist because the Swampert isn't going to be able to stand up to an entire Tyranitar and an entire arrow and 3 spikes. Every time it comes in, it's losing about 1/4 of its health. So that would have been really high value if I could have convinced him to stay in to be Wisped when really I'm Giga Draining him. He's below 25%, and then he's literally dead unless he can spin the spikes away. Fortunately for him, he has the perfect switch in for my exact Gengar. This Gengar does not run Thunderbolt, and it makes your matchup awkward into fire. So I am Wisp, Giga Drain, Fire Punch, Taunt, which has a ton of utility and is amazing for this team. But now we're in a spot where, like, what the hell do we do to enemy Moltres? I literally don't have a click that hits this thing. Like Fire Punch would be my best click, which is obviously completely unacceptable. So we need to come up with a play. I have a full health T-Tar that is already toxic, so it can't get Wisped. I do have to step on 3 spikes, but I'm taking a Flamethrower. Again, no chance of being burned, which is good. And his Flamethrower, did 23%. So I didn't think his Hidden Power Grasp would kill. And at this point, I have a full health Skarm. He recognizes that his Molt is a great switch-in for the Gengar matchup. So his Moltres is too important. He can't stay in and risk dying to a Rock Slide. It's not worth it. So I am going to call out that he's switching. I'm going to Focus Punch. And he goes right to Swampert. He takes 25% just to get onto the field and another 43%. Insane. And that's just beautiful. That's awesome. Remember, we have a whole arrow in the back that just wants to be clicking Rock Slide. And now that this Swampert is down to 26%, our prospects are looking fantastic. I would expect this thing to be Protect Chip Healing now to, get some more health and tick my Toxic a little bit more. So he's at 33% now. If I Earthquaked him, I think it's going to do basically what his T-Tar did to my Swampert. It's going to do like 20% or something, which is awesome because then eventually we could force the Swampert out, and then when it comes back in on the spikes, it's dead. Again, unless he has a spinner in the back. I think there's a world where he could decide to switch out. He just protected. Maybe he doesn't want his Swampert to get below that 25% threshold such that it can never come back in. Again, this is a very strong player. They probably know I have an arrow in the back at this point. So I decided to go for Rock Slide thinking there's a chance that he's going to want to save the Swampert. And even if I'm wrong, I have crit outs, I have flinch outs, and the T-Tar has done more than enough. The Swampert is hella low, and the T-Tar doesn't need to get that much more value, but the upside of clicking Rock Slide here is pretty decent. It does 17%, half of its health, and I actually do get the flinch. Now we're at this juncture. He could protect again, and the next Toxic Tick is going to kill me. A really good piece of advice I got from the person who made this team, H-Clad, was when you get... We only have 2 grounded Mon on the entire team, because in the back we have Aerodactyl and Zapdos, right? So the only Mon that takes spikes damage are our BKC, Bulky Tyranitar, and our Mono Swampert. When you get a Pokemon like such that it can be a Spike Sack, you want to save it so that you can change your Arrow Lock in the end game, or to help you like pivot and reverse momentum. So I am going to pivot out here. I'm going to save this T-Tar for later. It's going to be very helpful, and we just go Skarmory on his Protect. It failed to Protect, so he could try to Protect again right now, and there's nothing I can do about that. But I'm going to click Roar. And the reason, the biggest reason I want to click Roar, I take a Surf, that's totally fine. I don't want him to get any more leftover Chip Heal. He's going to come in, and the next time he comes in, he's going to come in, go down to 4% Chip Heal back up to 10. Everything on my team, including Skarmory, can do 10% to a Swampert. So I just want to make sure that he does not ever engineer a position where the Swampert can stand up to my Aerodactyl later on in the game. And the other benefit of that, of course, is we're also starting to chunk down this Tyranitar, which could be problematic as well. So we do that, and he's going to Rock Slide me. I take 30%, and I just Roar him again. And now the Swampert steps in, and this is exactly what we wanted, right? Like, we're doing a fantastic job of just tearing through this Rock Resist. The T-Tar had to come in. The next time the T-Tar comes in, it's going to be nearing half of its health. A lot of things are going really well for us. This is an awesome start to the game. And I highly doubt that crit mattered. I think Peck is going to definitely get us to at least 10%. It's Stab with Skarmory. Again, I didn't calc it because I was playing on my phone, but we eliminate the Swampert. They could have protected there, but I think he was worried about me Protect Chip Healing too much. I think he's also trying to make sure that he can get through my Skarmory at some point. So, of course, he's going to bring in the Moltres. And at this point, your Rock Resist is dead. I have 3 spikes up. And I think the Scarm could do things later on, so I don't want to just give up the entire Scarm. I think this is where we use our Spike Sack. I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice the T-Tar. Well, I guess I'm going to protect Chip Heal first, because there's not really anything Moltres can do. Moltres isn't known for, substituting, or it doesn't have, Agility or Calm Mind or anything. So this is a low-risk, medium reward protect, where I get a little bit more health before... And I also get to see what button he's clicking. And it looks like he's going to be clicking Flamethrower. We do Spike Sack the T-Tar, and that allows us, of course, to bring in Arrow. And look at Arrow. You can't... If you switch to T-Tar, it's taking 25% plus, 40%. It can't stand up to a second Rock Slide. Scarm is only at 31%. It's going to die from a single Rock Slide. Obviously, Moltres can't stay here. So if you have a secondary Rock Resist, you need to go to it immediately. And there's just about no world where I'm not clicking Rock Slide here. And they are going to have to sack the entire Scarm, which is great. No more Roar, so our Swampert is going to be a little bit safer from being forced to step on spikes. And they show, in fact, they do have a secondary Rock Resist in this Jirachi, so we're going to have to get through this now. And obviously, I'm not going to stay in. I'm locked into Rock Slide. That would not be good. I think the Scarm is the least valuable thing left. Obviously, Roaring is nice to try to continue to chip down this T-Tar. But there's a whole Moltres right here. The T-Tar is going to outspeed us and be clicking Rock Slide. I really just need to get some more momentum. So I am going to go Scarm. I could protect Chip Heal here if I want. I think that Thunderbolt is probably going to be doing enough to kill us at 50% as well. So we sack the Scarm. And what do you know? That allows us to bring Arrow back in. So this is a play, right? Obviously, I'm representing Earthquake here because Rock Slide is not going to do very much to the Jirachi. But the thing is, Earthquake, he can just so easily go Molt. And that puts us in this mind game, this predicament, where if I am ballsy enough to click Rock Slide and he stays in and clicks Thunderbolts, he could actually bring this all the way back. If I, end up destroying his Moltres, that's crazy. Because, that could be the last, Levitating Mon. If we get rid of Moltres, then later on I can come in and lock into Earthquake. So that's a lot of, how you play Classico, is you identify... how do you get to an Arrow endgame? You have to pick off specific things. If I kill the Moltres, Earthquake wins. If I kill Jirachi, then Rock Slide will win. So I'm trying to get closer, and again, I have crit. I don't have crit outs, but I have flinch outs, and I am going to be ballsy enough to click Rock Slide because I think he is going to go something like this. I was not shocked to see him go Celebi. I like Celebi from him because it actually resists Earthquake. It does have to come in on a ton of spikes. But it basically helps him extend the game. He's not going to lose the game by going to Celebi here. And he gets to see what I do. If he's right about me clicking Earthquake, that could be amazing for him. But because I clicked Rock Slide, it just did 41%. We're in the sand. Celebi is at 35. No way can Celebi live that. So look at what has to happen. This is fantastic for us. Now he has to go back to the Rock Resist again, come in on yet 3 additional spikes, and take a whole nother Rock Slide for 20% more. Now it's down to half health. Of course, it's going to Chip Heal back up to 55%. And now that I'm locked in, clearly I can't stay in anymore. But we've been doing it, man. And I love the Ice Punch click from him. Obviously, I could be going Swampert, so clicking Thunderbolt there is kind of scary. And there's virtually no way I can stay in and Rock Slide yet again with the Arrow because Thunderbolt would almost kill me. The thing is, Ice Punch and T-Bolt are both going to be 2-hit KOs on the Arrow. So the Ice Punch was the best mid-ground click from him, in my opinion, and ends up chunking our Zapdos. Now, I'm going to use this Zapdos to pressure this Jirachi. And he's in a spot now where basically nothing can come in. He has to trade down with his Jirachi. It is going to be revealed faster than us as per leftovers. And he has to hope for a freeze or something. Because he's about to take a T-Bolt that is going to put him down so low that he basically won't be able to come back in on these spikes anymore. And he doesn't get the freeze. He had 2 chances, and now he's all the way down to 25%. And he's clearly just going to Ice Punch again. Maybe I could have done something differently here. Here I'm going to sack the Zap and just bring the Arrow back in. And we did hit the Jirachi with Arrow Rock Slide earlier. It did exactly 20%. Again, unless he paras us or freezes us, we are going to be fine. He can't kill us. So he needs a crit or a 20% para or freeze. So I am in a pretty good spot, in my opinion. You could say that I risked a lot on this turn by clicking Rock Slide. But I didn't see that many other plays. Again, I could Earthquake. He could be going Molt. He really didn't. He never hard called out me clicking Earthquake. I never did click Earthquake. And I don't get the flinch, but I avoid the para. And so we're still alive. And by the way, because it's Ice Punch, Thunderbolt, Jirachi, it's, you know, it could be Calm Mind. It's pretty unlikely to be like Protect. So I'm not worried about him protecting out of subsequent Rock Slide range. And here he has to hope for a miss. He doesn't get it. So he's going to bring in T-Tar, because T-Tar can take a Rock Slide. I can only do about 40% or so. And we're nearing the end game. This is very close. I should have this. I'm going to go Gengar. My coach told me that going Swampert here was probably better. But I was worried about Celebi, which I probably shouldn't have been, because it's going down to 25% just by hitting the field. If I can get it down to 6, then it's going to die to Sand. So bringing in the Swampert and then clicking Surf should have been pretty free. And he is actually going to go Moltres, which, again, had I gotten the Swampert in, it would have taken much less from the Rock Slide that the T-Tar clicked. And then nothing can really come into the Surf. So that would have given me a lot more initiative. Now I really just have to sack the Gengar to allow Arrow to come back in. And hopefully we're going to be okay. Of course, we go down to the Flamethrower. They get a crit. Okay. Here's Arrow. And he's going to have to sack the Celebi to bring the Tyranitar in. Hitting or missing there is fine. We have a whole second opportunity. And they're doing this the right way, by the way. Because T-Tar, like, the only way they can win this is for T-Tar to, like, be able to live a hit from Arrow. But, of course, the problem is I can just go Swampert. They click Slide again. Maybe they needed to be clicking Earthquake, predicting the Swampert to come in there. But if they're wrong, it's kind of a 50-50 that's very in my favor. Because if they do click Earthquake to try to, like, crit through the Swampert, then what if I stayed in and went for flinch or crit or something? So, very tough spot for my opponent. They take Rock Slide damage. They are faster than me, but they're not going to stay in, because they know that they can actually live a Surf from our Swampert. So I'm going to protect Chip Heal up to 64%. It's not going to matter. Moltres HP Grass is going to absolutely obliterate us, which is fine, because we bring Arrow in one more time. We hit a Rock Slide. T-Tar's at 57%, comes down all the way to 38. Can we do 38 with a Rock Slide? We do hit, and we do 38%. And I just took a game off of the second highest ranked player on the entire ladder. I think I've just tied my ladder peak at 1652. There were some decisions I'm really proud of, but I think once you learn how to play a rock spam team like this, like El Classico, a lot of it is kind of straightforward. Like, you get your spikes, you prioritize trying to pressure the rock resist, appraise and understand, you know, your own Pokemon and what you're going to need for a given end game. I feel like we made just enough plays in the early and mid game to put ourselves in a really great spot. And even though I don't think I played the end game perfectly, it was still enough. But yeah, short video today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Zetts, and I've got a very cool video coming out in a couple days I cannot wait to share with you, so be sure to sub if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.